He was among Nigeria's first crop of leaders and nationalists. From the birth of a young African nation to its first military coup, from its bloody civil war to botched elections, separatist agitations and ethnic tensions, Chief Edwin Clark has seen it all. As the country gears up for crucial presidential election next year, Clark has waded into the controversial zoning debate, calling on northern aspirants to drop their presidential bid in favor of someone from the south. He also remains a towering figure and voice on issues affecting the people of the Niger Delta. I'll speak to the influential statesman and politician on his memories of the past and his hopes for the future. I'm Sumner Sambo, and this is the Arise interview. Now, 61 years ago, Nigeria stood on the precipice of independence and self-rule. And in the years that have followed, the nation has seen several coups, periods of economic prosperity as well as stagnation, ethnic clashes and secessionist threats. My guest today is the nationalist and elder statesman, Chief Edwin Clark. From 1966 to 1975, Clark worked under General Yakubu Gowon, Nigeria's second military head of state. He was the Commissioner for Information in 1975 and is the self-described leader of the Igbo nation. So you could say Chief Clark has always been a present force in Nigerian politics. Most recently, though, he's been very vocal about next year's presidential election and has endorsed an Igbo candidate from the southeast and former president of the Senate, Ayim Pius Ayim. He has called on aspirants from the north, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Senate President Bukola Saraki, to give up their presidential ambitions for the south. So at the age of 94, is this the Nigeria Chief Edwin Clark dreamt of? After post-independence, I'm delighted to say Chief Clark joins me now. So good to have you, Chief Edwin Clark, joining us on the show. And let's start at 94. How do you feel? How strong are you?
Thank you very much. Very well, of course, we thank the Almighty God. Still kicking on.
And
I'm okay.
Okay, so good to know. I mean, you look very fresh, relaxed, and well prepared for the interview.
Of course, thank you. By God's grace, I'll be celebrating my 95th birthday on the 25th of May this year.
Very
so
interesting.
So within 3 months, I will be 95.
Wow.
Thank you.
Very interesting. Only few Nigerians actually live up to that age. Now, let's talk about the politics of Nigeria as we find ourselves in this nation. What sort of country did you dreamt of? And are we near that dream that you had after the independence? Or you think we are walking towards that path gradually?
Thank you very much. We are not working towards that path. We are in fact at a crossroad. This is not the Nigeria we all worked for. Let me say this to you. From 1953 to this day, Nigeria has been passing through many phases. You have so many constitutions: Richard's Constitution, Macpherson's Constitution, Milverton's Constitution. Then we have the Independence Constitution. During this period of time, we have always have one form of government or the other. In 1960, Nigerian Constitution was thrown by Nigerians and the British in Milverton Hall. Where do they have it? In England. And they came back. Independence was granted to Nigeria in 1960. The proud founding fathers of this country will weep if they resuscitate from their graves to see the type of Nigeria we are going through today. Nigeria without light. Nigeria without soul. Nigeria where everybody is being killed, where a human being means nothing to anybody. A single American killed means a lot to Americans. In Nigeria, you kill 100,000 of people means nothing to anybody. Particularly our president no longer cares. He does not know his country, but he wants to go out every day, traveling to Brussels, everywhere. That is not done by any president of any country. Where your people are dying, where your people are suffering, that's where a Mr. President should visit to commiserate with his own people. If that is not done, then where are we heading to? Coming back to the question you asked, when our founding fathers disagreed with Richard's constitution, they called the obnoxious constitution. And that constitution gave way to Macpherson's constitution. Changes were made in 1953. So that we had having the nature of the country we have, where there are so many tribes, so many ethnic groups, so many tongues. We cannot have a unitary form of government. They therefore decided to have a federal system of government with 3 regions. And those regions developed at their own pace. The resources found in one region or available in one region, 50% of that resources goes to the region, 20% to the federal government, 30% remaining was shared among the 4, the 3 regions and the federal government. That was when Nigerians decided to produce their own constitution without the British. In 1963, the same policy was adopted. Section 141 of that constitution provides what I've just said just now. And that time, here today you have politicians moving around. Those who could not go to school want to be politicians, want to represent me in the House of Assembly. So what happened at that time? 1963 Constitution provides that before you become a minister of your country, of Nigeria, you must contest election.
Very interesting indeed.
If you don't, yes, that's what the Nigerian we had.
I mean, it was a
so today, we have changed the territory. We have no Nigeria. Everybody is a tribalist. Could you imagine a situation where a president of Nigeria, voted by the people of Nigeria, surrounds himself with only people who understand his language, with only people
that is actually
talk with him? That's not a country.
The president has a presidential prerogative to actually appoint people as he deems fit. It's a presidential power that the Constitution actually gives to him. There are other powers too that is inherent in the Constitution which the president can't tamper with. And he has always said it, that the Constitution provides for 36 ministers, and he has always done that. The Constitution provides for different appointments, and he has never failed in doing that. Don't you think it's also within his powers to appoint those whom he trusts?
Well, those he trusts should come from his family or from his ethnic group, nationality. For instance, there are 17 senior security officers in this country. The police, the army, all of them. 14 or 15 of them are from the north. How many from the south? So you go to a security meeting, you speak outer language.
Well, I don't think that's on record, Chief Clark. It's not on record that...
that's on record, please.
At security meetings that Hausa is the official language, Chief Edwin Clark. And you have said that
they do speak.
as nationalists...
I say it today. Tell anybody that I said so.
Well, we do not have evidence
if
to actually back that.
If they don't speak Hausa language, that is not true.
Because we have... we have the Chief of Defense Staff there.
From where?
We have the Chief of Defense Staff.
Does he not speak Hausa language?
Well...
Does Erabo not speak Hausa language?
Very interesting, but Hausa is not the official language. And now let me just bring you back to some of
it's not official. I didn't say it's official language, but they do speak it.
Well, Arise cannot confirm that. Let me just bring you back to one critical issue which Nigeria is going to head into this year, specifically in May, when it will be your 95th birthday. Nigeria will be conducting another census. I want you to talk to us about previous censuses that we've conducted in this country. The last one we conducted was in 2006, and the federal government has budgeted funds for a census to be conducted this year. How do you think that this should be handled in such a way that it doesn't cause chaos in the country?
Thank you very much. I agree with you that there is no way you can handle it that it will not cause confusion or problem in this country. What you need to do in this country, let us restructure this country. Let us reorganize our country. Let the states have more power. You now want to organize census, even though it's on the exclusive list. You need the states to participate. So I'm not one of those who believe that the problem you have today is in the case of census, where you will spend billions of naira producing nothing. Cook's figures. I want to see the technology that advanced countries use. Have we got that?
Well, they are introducing digital census, actually.
So. Well, let me ask you. Between now and February next year, there's going to be a general election. Cope with a census countrywide, and at the same time doing the general election in February with the type of police force you have today, the security you have, where every part of Nigeria is being harassed, where people are being kidnapped every day. Let's forget it. Let's postpone it.
But just stay with us as we go on this short break and we'll come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Horizon TV. I'm Sumner Sambo, and I've been discussing the issues concerning the Nigerian nation with Chief Edwin Clark, who is an elder statesman. And so good to still have you here, Chief Clark. And I want to bring you back to the issue of restructuring that you talked about. A lot of Nigerians, as we head to the next general election, are dissatisfied with the way the All Progressives Congress has handled these calls for restructuring. The party hasn't done that right from 2015. What do you suggest as the way forward? Because, I mean, some other groups have said that if there is no restructuring, there shouldn't be an election in 2023.
Thank you very much. You will remember, my son, that in 2014, there was a national conference on restructuring. All types of persons, whether they are handicapped, blind, or whatever you are, associations of police, association of army officers, and so on, market women, old men like myself, we all attended for about 4 months. And we produced 600 recommendations to restructure this country so that we will all be equal in our country, so that governors will not go with briefcases to Abuja to collect money without working for it and leaving their people in poverty. So that was done. But the APC said that when they come to power in 2015, they will restructure this country. It was in their manifesto. But when they came, they disbanded it, their ideas. But in 2018, because of the pressure from Nigerians about restructuring, APC appointed the El-Rufai's committee, the governor of Kaduna State, a very brilliant fellow, intelligent man. When Chief John Oyegu was the chairman of APC, about 5-7 governors were members of the committee, former governors and former senators. They went around the whole country and came out with a report very, very close to that produced in 2014. They've told us, El-Rufai said so, Chief Oyegu said so, that the report has been accepted by the party, APC, Executive Committee, National Executive Committee, of which Mr. President was a member. Recently, when El-Rufai appeared on the television, he said so again. But Mr. President is the one in charge of APC today.
Yeah, so would you say that the president
now become one-man dictator?
But will you say that the president hasn't done enough, considering that he has pushed some of these recommendations to the National Assembly, and there are also accusations that when you had your turn with President Goodluck Jonathan, even the administrative recommendations of the National Conference, President Jonathan just left it idle. He didn't do that. And neither did he even submit it to the National Assembly for them to do this.
Listen, President Jonathan was advised by respectable Nigerians to organize the 2014 National Conference. But the time was too short for him. I accept. He should have carried out some administrative recommendations. I blame him for that. And I won't support him that he was too slow in taking action on that. If the administrative one you are taking actions, those for National Assembly should be sent to National Assembly. But that is not an excuse for a man who said he was coming to clean Nigeria. Jonathan's government was not good enough. When he comes, Nigeria will transform. Boko Haram is still with us. All sorts of people are with us. They are killing our people every day. Terrorism everywhere in the country. As if we have no security.
Yes, so how do we go into the next election? How do we go into the next election without a restructured Nigeria, as you had been agitating for? We've heard Chief Ayo Adebanjo saying that elections should not hold if we don't have a restructured Nigeria, the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum and all of that. Yet this restructuring hasn't been done. President Buhari has tried his best seeking autonomy, but the Supreme Court says that he doesn't have those powers.
Listen, this is my son. This country does not belong to President Buhari. This country belongs to 200 million people of this country. President Buhari is not an emperor. He's not a dictator. Nigeria will not accept it. What executive orders he sent to the place when there's a constitution? He has the power to amend the Constitution of Nigeria. What's the National Assembly there for? Who is he deceiving? Please, I'm 95. You are a young man. I've seen it all. Nobody can deceive me. Buhari does not want us to move. All those executive orders are null and void because we know Professor Wambweze said so in his paper that Order 10, Executive Order 10, was null and void because it was contrary to the Constitution of Nigeria. You know what is going on, my son? The 36 governors of Nigeria are our problem today because they don't know their right. Their rights are entrenched in the Constitution. But the president wants to take those rights from them. But they don't care. They want to protect themselves. You see them surrounding Mr. President. President goes to Daura to register in his party. They all follow him. Their places are burning. Is that the country you have? We should have? So, my son, let us restructure this country so that this governor should have some image of running around in Abuja every day.
Very interesting indeed.
That is not enough.
Oh, okay, let's talk about
what we are saying.
Yes. Let's talk about
what we are saying is that restructuring is not difficult. We have been restructuring, even the military restructured.
All right.
So this country has been going under restructuring. Hence, you had constituent assemblies appointed by these military people. Why can't President Buhari appoint one constituent assembly to look into the affairs of this Nigeria?
Very interesting
No,
submission.
we can't continue like this. We must restructure.
Very, very interesting submission you've got. But we have the...
Sorry, you cannot have election in this country because there will be chaos.
But you have
People
the National Assembly.
to be fighting for their rights.
Sorry to cut in, Chief. We have the National Assembly working on the...
Yes, what is it?
We have the National Assembly working on the review of the 1999 Constitution at the moment, and it's chaired by Senator Ovie Omo Agege, who is from the South and the Deputy President of the Senate. Don't you believe in the recommendations of the National Assembly Constitution Review Committee? You don't believe that they will be able to give us a restructured country?
Bullshit. What are they doing? It's because you mentioned Deputy President of the Senate is from my place. How many times have been since 2010, when Jonathan approved some amendment of the Constitution? How many years now? 2010 to this time, it's about 12 years. We have done nothing to the Constitution. The National Assembly, 8th National Assembly did nothing. And this one, they've agreed that whatever Mr. President tells them, they will do. So whenever Mr. President says you can bring your whatever amendment you have, before he will approve it. But I can assure you that he will not approve it until next year.
Well,
we are waiting.
We've had the...
When Vioma Agege will submit his report.
The 8th National Assembly actually did a lot of revisions in the Constitution. That's why you have the not too young to run bills and all of that. But although Nigerians expected so much. What's your view on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill that's currently before President Muhammadu Buhari? Do you think he will sign it? What are elders like you saying through the back channel? Have you been getting across to the president to tell him that it's important for him to sign this bill?
Thank you very much. Perhaps this is an occasion using this medium to appeal to our dear president, our most respected president. We have no other president. Please sign the bill into law. That's the only legacy you have. You have less than 1 year to go, even if it is more. But when the election campaign comes up, you will have no time to run this government again. So we are pleading with you, together with my elders who believe in my cause, who believe in democracy in this country, who believe in free, fair, and credible election in this country, who believe in one man, one vote, who condemn rigging of election. We are pleading with Mr. President that he has no choice. What he wanted before, we all agreed with me, the National Assembly cannot dictate to Nigerians or political parties that they should use only direct primary. But now they've amended the situation. Now you have direct, indirect, and the other one, consensus. I don't think there's any other thing remaining. Mr. President should sign it into law. Those who advise him, particularly Mr. Attorney General, I have been a lawyer for over 54 years, and I believe that Mr. President should to be given proper legal advice. There's nothing wrong in that electoral law. Please, in the name of the Almighty God, sign this bill so that you leave it behind as a true legacy.
Okay.
That's my appeal to Mr. President.
Thank you so much. I am very sure a lot of our viewers and Nigerians will actually give you a strong backing there on that. Now let's talk about the race for 2023. We've seen elders like you, Ango Abdullahi, going to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former president of the country, yesterday. And Ango Abdullahi, after that meeting, said that they are on the same page. He's on the same page with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo now. Are you on the same page with Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on 2023?
What is your Olusegun's page? What is your Olusegun Obasanjo's page? Because he's a man that can say this today and tomorrow he says a different thing, even though he was our president. What is it? What page does it? Is it? What is his page?
Very interesting. Well,
yes.
Go ahead.
What is his page?
Well,
I don't know his page.
Well,
but as I've told you, yeah, go on. What is his page?
Well, it will definitely have to be that we need a peaceful country at the end of the day. And then there should be peaceful negotiation between the South and the North as agitations continue. And one would want to wonder why you quickly endorse Anyim, Pius Anyim. Do you strongly believe that the South...
I didn't adopt Pius Anyim.
Well, we had reports about that.
Me.
Okay.
That's not true. Listen, let me tell you. We are saying that zoning should be done. There should be rotation between the North and the South. Whether we were amalgamated in 1914, it is recognized as what is called Southern Nigeria and Northern Nigeria. And they must share things on equal basis. So what we are saying that after 8 years of President Buhari, he should now go to the South. After the South, he will go to the North. That is my argument, and no more. Against those who believe that competence, intelligence, education should be the order of the day. I say no. There is no way in Nigeria where there are no competent people. It will be an insult to that state if you say they don't have competent people. There is even no local government where you don't have competent people. But let's do the right thing. I have seen people like Atiku. I have very great respect for him. But if a man thinks that he is the only man around, and he's the only man Nigeria should vote into power, how long has he been fighting for presidency? In 2003, he wanted this, when Obasanjo was looking for his second term, he wanted to take it from him. That brought their problem until they left office in 2007. Then he went and contested again in AD or whatever party. And he has been contesting for presidency. Is he the only person in this country? Let me tell you, my young man. In 2019, about 12 of them, 12 northern presidential aspirants. There's no time for me to name them now. But Atiku was number 1. They were interviewed in my house here, 43 Health Street. Each of them we took about 1 hour or 2 hours. At the end of it all, Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum selected Atiku as the man who should be the presidential candidate for PDP. Based on the others did not agree, so they went to Port Harcourt, where presidential primary was held. We all campaigned for Atiku, and he won with over 3,000 votes, majority. Yeah. Now he came back. We fought. We campaigned for him, but like every other Nigerian election, the election was rigged. It was rigged out, and he lost.
Well, that's now, on record,
one would
Chief
have
Clark.
expected that. I don't. Well, thank you.
Well, sorry.
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, very interesting.
I think that at this time, Atiku should encourage, particularly the Igbos, who voted for him so much, whose daughter campaigned for him so much. We saw it all. Why must he think that he's the only man who should be president of this country? No.
And what do you make of his comment about zoning, that zoning is unconstitutional?
That is not being sincere. Therefore, it's unreliable. Otherwise, in 2011, Atiku, General Ibrahim Gusau, and others, including Sarakib, the president of the Senate at the time,
and former President Ibrahim
they all said that Jonathan, yes, they all said they wanted to contest the election, that they wanted to finish the time of Yaradua. Therefore, Jonathan should not contest. Even the father of Gumi came to me in my house here, that Jonathan should step down, and that a northerner become the president of Nigeria. Jonathan should be vice president. When they finish 8 years, Jonathan should take over. I said, no, it's not unconstitutional. So he left. So these are people who felt that 2011, 2015, they said Jonathan was not qualified. They believe in rotation. But again, when APC was formed, how many Southerners competed with the Northerners? Buhari was there, Atiku was there, Kwankwaso was there, Isaiah was there. Who are the other Southerners?
All right.
Apart from is it
and sorry to cut you in here, Chief Clark. There have been calls on former President Goodluck Jonathan to actually contest, to join the APC and then contest the 2023 presidency. And some of the Northerners we hear are favorable to his presidential candidacy. What do you think? Would you advise former President Goodluck Jonathan to join APC? Would you advise him to contest? Do you think that it's right for the South-South to throw its hat into the ring in 2023?
Please, my son, I'm still very, very, very active. I'm not aware of such information. And I cannot comment on what I have not heard anything about. I'm further to Jonathan up to today. He has not informed me of if he wants to contest. So I'm not aware. I'm still waiting.
So do you think it's right for the South-South, anyone else apart from Jonathan from the South-South, to contest in 2023, considering the agitation from the Southeast?
Listen, don't dribble me. I told you that there is a zoning between the rotation between North and South. When it comes to the South, we will decide what to do. I've said the East, Southeast has not got it. Therefore, in fairness to them, being part of this country, they should produce the next president. Not because they are Igbos, not because they are Southeast, because they are part of this country. When we fought the Civil War, General Gawan said, no victor, no vanquish. You do not create a Nigeria where some people will be second-class citizens, others will be first-class citizens. Then we have no country.
And what do you make of...
so let the Igbos...
What do you make of the Southwest ambition? In the APC, the Southwest is positioning itself to get the presidential ticket. And you have the likes of Bola Tinubu, and then we hear Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is warming up, people like Kaide Fayemi and all of that. Most of the top people from the South that we hear are always coming from the Southwest. What do you think of a potential Southwest presidency? Again.
Let me tell you. The Southwest, they are very well, they are the most educated people in this country, most sophisticated. But let me say this. Tinubu should rest now, should go and rest. Who is able to become president of Nigeria? Listen, the mere fact you have money, the mere fact you can manipulate your state. Who accepts Tinubu as a leader in my region, the South-South? So we don't know him there. The only man, but for the Igbos, I will vote for is Mr. Vice President. He's a competent fellow. He's an intelligent fellow. He has the personality. That is my candidate. If we were to vote for someone from the Southwest. Next is the governor of Ekiti State. If it is intention, but not Tinubu. At what age? What does it represent? Is it a Lagos State or Nigeria?
Hasn't he invested so much in the APC that he deserves to be rewarded?
APC is rewarding him for party chairmanship or leadership of the party of which he claims he is. I think Buhari are taking it from him. My son, let us be very serious in this country.
And don't you think that is dividing the South? Because here you have Tinubu who has political connections everywhere. The North, he's very strong politically, and he's been denounced by you here. Don't you think that's a division of the Southern vote?
Listen, fair is fair. If I criticize the Northerners for producing many presidents, the next region that is near to the North is Southwest. Obasanjo has done about 12 years as president of and head of state of this country. Choneko done about 3 months, while the Igbos have done only 6 months. Are they not part of this country? When Nigeria was Nigeria, we had what we call Eastern region, Western region, and Northern region. A country with 3-legged pot. A two-legged pair cannot stand. So in those days, North alone cannot stand. West alone cannot stand, could not stand. Not to talk of East alone standing. So now Midwest region was created in 1963. So we had 4-legged table. Today we have 36-legged table. Let them go home and have government of their own. Not to talk about everybody. Nigeria is sinking. The amount of killing that is going on. How many times have you heard Tinubu making a statement about the killings in this country? Tell me, how many times have you heard Tinubu talking about the state of this nation.
Well, we are very sure he does that through...
APC came into power.
We are very sure he does that through the backroom channel, because he can't be seen criticizing President Buhari because, I mean, it's their party that's in power. But as we try to round off this conversation, I want to bring you back home in Delta State, Chief Edwin Clark. There's this statement that you recently issued where you said that you were not aware of any pact between Governor Ifeanyi Okowa and the Ijaw Nation. There have been this agitation for an Ijaw governor in Delta State in 2023. What actually made you to make that statement?
That I was quoted out of context. Have you seen my 10 questions I answer, of which one of them, this was one of them? I don't want to comment on it. So I said, I'm now at national level playing national politics. I don't want to be involved in Delta politics. But I was forced to say so, to answer some questions. 14 questions were sent to me by Vanguard, and I answered them, and that question was one of them. And I've asked him, man, why did you pick this one out of 14 questions? Mainly to embarrass me? He has apologized. And yesterday, all the 10 of the questions were published. So if you look at those questions, you will have an answer. You will have my answer. Thank you.
Very interesting submission indeed, Chief. And I want you to talk critically about national development in terms of harnessing our human capacity. A lot of Nigerians are saying that the government is playing too much politics and little governance is ongoing at the moment. How do you think that those in power can protect more Nigerians, especially the poor, make use of good resources to be able to bring more people out of poverty? Because, I mean, some elites keep saying that the poverty rate is alarming. Do you think that the government is doing enough to bring more poor people out of poverty?
What answer do you expect from me? I should say they are doing more, they are doing well. They are not really performing at all. We are in a country where it appears we do not have a government. As I've told you, the amount of deaths we have, killings we have in Nigeria every day, very few countries observe those type of killings. We are in trouble in this country. We should all meet. I have appealed to Mr. President, summon a meeting of elders and people of this country. Let us meet. The security of this country belongs is that of all of us. Does not belong to Mr. President and his security men alone.
Isn't that the reason why we have the National Assembly, a constituent group of Nigerians elected from different parts of the country to talk about issues concerning Nigeria?
Okay, we are talking about the 9th Assembly. You are a journalist. I was also a senator. Have you ever seen this National Assembly, like in British Parliament, set in 1 or 2 days to discuss national issues, the state of the nation? Have you ever had it? That is the job of the National Assembly, to discuss the state of the nation and find how to solve the problems. Have you ever heard about that?
Well, they do that in providing lots of motions. They do motions and bills almost every plenary.
Those motions means nothing. Nobody cares about those motions. Mr. President put those motions in waste basket. It doesn't have anything to do with them. Have you ever seen any president answering a motion from National Assembly? How many of them listen to them? Was it Obasanjo? Or what? So let us not deceive ourselves. The National Assembly we have today is one of the problems we have in this country. If nobody is telling them, there are people who will tell them. Because they are not performing the duties for which they are elected. The duty for which they are elected, like people being killed everywhere. We want to hear debate.
Well,
if they set up committees, have you ever seen the committee reporting to the House and they debate that committee in the public?
Well, they've been doing that, Chief, and they are also helpless because the Constitution doesn't give them power to order the military. So that's an executive function, and they keep doing these bills, motions, talking about this, and pushing to the president, and they seem helpless too.
They are not helpless. They said that whatever motion, whatever advice, any motion, any executive paper brought to them by Mr. President, they will take it. Any advice, they will take it. That's what they are following. Let me tell you, I'm very disappointed at the President of the Senate, a very well-educated man, a very well-respected man, a man who could be president of this country. He has sold his birthright. He's no longer behaving like a president of the Senate who should stand firm. I see him inviting people to come and collect taxes and so on. That is not his business. His business is to direct the National Assembly to discuss the state of the nation, issue the security of the nation, the amount of corruption going on in this country, the economy that is dying in this country. These are the functions of a Senate. They should be discussing this in publicly and people will go to watch them.
All right, Chief.
You have a Senate where only 5 people will attend. Out of 109, only 5 people, 10 people will attend. You have a House of Representatives, 360 people, only 100 people will attend, 50 will attend. Is that what you were elected for?
Well, in the age of COVID that we have, I think they've had lots of restrictions. Don't you believe that, based on those restrictions, they have to quickly see how they can reduce their sessions and all of that? As we try to round off.
Did you go and see what is happening in the British Parliament?
All right.
Or in Congress in America?
All right. One final word for Nigerians as we head to 2023 without a restructured Nigeria that you had previously been asking. What's that one message that you have for the country?
Let's just live together as brothers and sisters, created by God to stay at one unit. Let the success of one of us be the success of the others. Let the problem of one of us be the problem of every Nigerian, like what is going on in Northeast. So all I'm saying is that everything you want in Nigeria is available. Nigeria is a wealthy country. Let's put our heads together. Let's love one another. Let's avoid competition. Let religion and ethnicity not subdue our feelings. Please, husband and wife can belong to different religions, can belong to different political parties. But the mere fact that you are APC, the mere fact that you are PDP, does not mean that you are quarreling. Does not mean that you run one another down. Put Nigeria first. Once we from Mr. President down to look at what is actually doing. What actually is doing, it concerns all of us. But how many of us are talking? So right. I am appealing to Nigeria that this country is a great country. We started with Malaysia. We started with Singapore. We started with Pakistan, India, Ghana. All right. of us got independent relatively at the same time. They are progressing. Let us progress with them.
Very interesting indeed.
Let us put our personal differences behind
Chief Edwin
And let's live together as one
Clark,
Nigeria.
At 94, we must thank you so much for joining us on the show. I mean, I've really been enlightened by your submission, and we can only hope that more elder statesmen like you will continue to advise Nigerians on how to keep the nation safe. We must thank you for joining us on the show. Well, that's how it's been for this edition of the Arise interview. I hope you enjoyed it. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Sumner Sambo.